They're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Welcome, Spirit Bus 33 fam. Episode number 32. Just welcome, light workers, peacekeepers, seekers, sages, indigo, mystics, spiritual beings having this human experience. Thank you. Thank you for spending your sacred time, your precious energy here, taking a little ride on this bus with me. I'm going to take a little moment here and get some 432 hertz going on. Going to do a little bit of a aura and energy cleansing, also so I can see how this sound bath is working through the audio here. It's beautiful, some nice rain sounds. Yes. Nice, beautiful healing sounds here. Yeah, really prepping for some upcoming sound baths, some upcoming sound healing. Just take a moment to center, ground yourself, get cozy, have something to drink, get into a comfortable position. The energy in the collective has been intense, regardless of which political side you're on, if you are on one at all, where you are in the world, is the collective energy, has been chaotic and very intense. So let's just ground and center for a moment. Deep breath in. Hold. Exhale. Go ahead and pause the audio if you need to take a couple more deep breaths. Follow your intuition. Really just get your nervous system feeling calm, centered, grounded, perhaps back to baseline. Taking good care of yourself. With this recent, kind of ongoing collective shift, I really invite you to lean into practices that assist you with becoming, or I guess staying in tune with your body's awareness. Past versions of us, when we were feeling fear or maybe enduring other adversity, we learned coping mechanisms that it assisted us with survival. But often it was really structured in this, with these dissociative, forms, such as, maybe self-medicating or overeating, or scrolling, anything to just allow us to be in a state of avoidance to be able to survive. So I really invite you to listen to your body, take care of your body, as if it was the home that you were going to live in for a long time, the home that you owned for the rest of your earth experience. Well, because it is, right? It is our home. It's the home that we are really paying the mortgage on in many different ways. So in order to have a long lasting, fulfilled experience in our home, it's important that we learn how to take care of our body. And for many of us, we've been so disconnected from it because we had to be. But now it's time for a new version of ourselves. It's time to step back into our power. It's time to learn how to slow down, reconnect. Livia Shapiro from the Somatic Therapy Workbook, she provides guidance on how to assist with feeling boundaries within our own skin. So I really enjoy this exercise as a way to connect with the entire body in a way that creates harmony, understanding, balance. It's the balance of your kinesphere, your movement and energy boundary. She shares, it is the space around you that belongs to you. It extends and just beyond your fingertips. It extends out just beyond your fingertips in every direction and plane of possible movement, and gives the mover a sense of how far their movements and their energy of that movement can extend before bumping into another mover or an object. So from her exercise, I adopted the following activity. So if you stand with your feet apart, and this is something that you can do now or wait until you want to do later. Stand with your feet apart, hands to your side. You gently lift your arms straight out, just really observing the space that you have in each direction, your boundaries, and then put your hands straight up, all the way up, reaching to the sky, doing the same. And then as you come down, a light tapping left, right, that bilateral stimulation on the head, cheeks, and then you move all the way down your body. So if you're doing this right now, you can pause and go, or maybe listen to the rest of it and then go ahead and do the activity. But you go all the way down, following your intuition on what areas that you feel aligned with tapping until you get down to your feet. And then once you're at your feet, as you start coming back up, you can tap on the same places or you can do different places. On the way back up is with each tap or as you go, remember, follow your intuition, is you're going to speak out loud something that you're grateful for. So it might be as you're coming back up, you're like, oh, warm home, food, my health, my family. You're going all the way back up until you get to the top of your head. And then you're putting your arms back up in the sky. And all the way through, you are really embarking on that body gratitude practice. I really love this, spiritual practice, the sadhana. It really incorporates, using healing modalities to take care of your home, your body, while using the mind to connect with the vibration of gratitude, of love. And then when you're done with that, as you set your intention for the day, of course, if you have other practices, you add them, and you have your grand rising, your start to the day practices. And then you're setting your intention on what do you want to embody today? What do you want to be the embodiment of? Patience, observation, strength, love. And then we practice carrying, that intention, that embodiment with us throughout the entire day. And reminding ourselves to return back to it when we slip out. And we will. At some point, we will slip into some automatic reactions. We'll be kind of an autopilot, especially maybe if you're doing the work grind. But it's really slowing down and recognizing what happens when you slip out of that space. Some reflection on what's needed to not slip out at that moment again. Perhaps we were snagged, maybe disrupted by another. Pulling from Sonia Roman's book, Personal Power Through Awareness, she shares, as you look more deeply at things that really bother you, I want to propose a thought. Nothing you are upset about is caused by what you think. For instance, you may be upset that your friend accused you of doing something you didn't do. Upon deeper examination, you will find that it is a recreation of an earlier part of your life played out over and over in changing scenery with different people until you resolve it. So then to deeper understand your patterns, is that it might be good to work with somebody so that you can really understand what the patterns are, how to recognize them, how to learn tools to intervene when those patterns come up. And a reminder, as I really encourage you to work with someone that you really feel aligned with, is to find someone that guides you back to your own knowledge, your own internal guidance system, not someone who holds this facade that they have it all figured out, and that you can too if you just try harder. Someone that's a good teacher, but is not like really stuck in the ego of being the expert of your particular life. I really like Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I love in chapter 1, how he just even starts this. And I'm gonna read this to you. And it starts with the word enlightenment, which I'm going to say, is to think of enlightenment, as becoming our favorite version of ourselves, our healed version of ourselves. Self-actualization, if we're looking at like Maslow's hierarchy, is truly, truly connecting and healing. So it says, enlightenment, what is that? A beggar had been sitting by the side of a road for over 30 years. One day a stranger walked by. Spare some change, mumbled the beggar, mechanically holding out his old baseball cap. I have nothing to give you, said the stranger. Then he asked, what are you sitting on? Nothing, replied the beggar. Just an old box. I've been sitting on it for as long as I can remember. Ever look inside? Asked the stranger. No, said the beggar. What's the point? There's nothing in there. Have a look inside, insisted the stranger. The beggar managed to pry open the lid. With astonishment, disbelief, and elation, he saw that the box was filled with gold. I am that stranger who has nothing to give you and who is telling you to look inside. Not inside any box, as in the parable, but somewhere even closer, inside yourself. So I strongly encourage you, for those that are listening, is to keep doing that internal work. Keep reminding yourself that you are not the mind, you are not the body, but we want to learn how to connect with both and to be able to use both in a harmonious way, and to learn how to stop the dissociation, but to be able to embrace our body, embrace our mind, and be able to live in a state where we're not, out of balance with both. But knowing that ultimately, like, we are the observer. We're the observer of everything that's happening around us. So while the mind is going and while the body is, doing body things, is we're the consciousness that's observing it all. There's so much beauty to find when we really start doing deep dives on ourselves, when we start understanding our patterns, we start recognizing that we're able to completely rewire not only our brain, but our reality. And a lot of times it's as simple as showing up for ourselves. It's as simple as starting to lean in to these mind body belief system practices. Because when we show up and say, I love myself enough to hydrate today, I love myself enough to eat healthy, I love myself enough to stretch, to exercise, to hold an intention that I'm aligned with, to walk through my day and to set boundaries, to not people please, whatever it might be. When we love ourselves enough to show up that way for us, we're rewiring, the old broken system inside that says we're not worthy. The system inside, that we weren't going to amount to anything, that we were different, that we weren't liked, that we weren't accepted, whatever it might be for you, is we're able to find our peeps, as we stop hanging out with people, that we're not aligned with. We start really inviting people in that we feel inspired by. It doesn't mean that we have to cut people off completely. Sometimes it does. But a lot of times is that when we start transforming, people fall off. Because in order to hang out with you, it's going to take a different version of them. If you quit self-medicating, for example, and someone is going to have to hang out with you without drinking, or hang out with you without going out to eat, or hang out with you without, self-medicating in some way, that's going to call a different version of them. And if they're not ready for that, or if your relationship isn't bonded, so much that you're doing those type of things for one another, is that a lot of times people will fall off, and that's okay. Because you will find other people in alignment with that. A 3-card draw here from the Osho deck. All right. First card, clinging to the past. Perfect for what we're talking about. Perfect. It's time to release past versions of yourself. It's time to release the past. Of course, we want to make sure that we're validating ourselves, that, we have spent time understanding the complexity of the things that we went through, the relationships that we've had, so that we're not skipping that valuable part of validating that shit was hard. But past that, is that we end up kind of rolling around, in the mud, so to speak. We end up kind of walking through quicksand. We end up sometimes getting stuck in a victim mentality. And you're not that. You're the warrior. You're the resilience. You're the one that survived 100% of your hardest days, and you're still here. So when this card comes up as clinging to the past, it's really releasing those limiting belief systems, moving into your favorite version of yourself. What does your favorite version of yourself do? How do they take care of, themselves? And really leaning into those practices. Second card is harmony. It's time to cultivate harmony within yourself, which then will ripple out all around you. Of course, that might be hard for some people to recognize this new version of yourself, but that's okay. Third card, conditioning. is we're breaking free from those conditioned responses. We're breaking free of what people told us that we needed to be. We're stepping into our creative expressions that bring us harmony. And we're not worrying about someone else's opinion on it. We're not worrying what they say or what they might think. As we're stepping into our power, our creative awareness, our harmony, our joy, we're leaving the conditioning in the past behind. Because this is our earth experience. This is it right now. We're in the thick of it. We're in it, Like we're having it right now. Like in this moment right now, you're in it. So everything that we do right now is planting seeds, is gifting our future self, abundance, joy, harmony. But we have to break the patterns. We have to break the conditioning. We have to stop clinging to the past. There's nothing that we can change there. We can learn from it, but we're unable to change that. But we can change right in this moment. And then the next moment, the next. We can take care of our home, our body. We can really start taking care of it so that it can carry our consciousness all the way through this human experience. And it doesn't matter at what point you start, because you're still planting those seeds. You're still taking care of yourself. You're still rewiring your system, even if you feel like, it's been so many years and, and this, that. It's never too late to return to what your internal guidance system is telling you. To return to that belief system that you feel aligned with, to turn to the practices, the way you take care of yourself. It's never too late. Conversations with Soul deck here. You are blooming to be the leader you came here to be. Yes, light workers, sages, mystics. Thank you for taking a little ride on this bus. Thank you for being here, for spending your sacred time and energy. Thank you for being a leader. Thank you for doing the hard work on yourself and then going out and rippling it everywhere you go. Thank you for being the one that smiles at the cashier. Thank you for being the one that doesn't engage in anger while you're driving. Thank you for being the patient one when things don't go your way. Thank you for constantly working on yourself so that as you move forward and touch other people in many different ways, that's felt. And thank you for being vulnerable and authentic, is that we're going to sometimes be snagged. And to be able to show up, make amends, speak it out loud. We're going to say things that we disagree with. And that's okay. To be able to say, oh, hold on, I disagree with myself. Delete, delete, delete. Let me try that again. And those limiting belief systems is thank you for releasing those. Because when you walk with confidence, you walk with joy, as other people can feel that. And the opposite is true too, is when we walk in fear and division and anger and hostility, everyone around us can feel that too. So we have a choice, right? Spirit Bus fam, we have a choice. Regardless of what's going on in the world, as we have a choice of how we're going to carry ourselves. We have a choice of how we're going to show up, how we're going to treat people of all different belief systems, cultures, understandings, realities, dimensions, realms, how we're going to treat animals, how we're going to, all of it. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. If you're interested and would like to join a live and get a live reading, head over to my TikTok. I'm pretty sure I don't have my phone on me, but I'm pretty sure it is Joyful Rain 33. Oh, I know how you can find it. In Spotify, my Linktree is there. So you can hit the Linktree, it'll take you to all of the different social media sites that I have. Also, you can book coaching, you can book reading, if you feel aligned. And then if you're a resident of Michigan or Wisconsin, I do provide clinical therapy too that has some holistic modalities weaved in. All right, here we go. We're heading into an upcoming week. We have some 11/11 energy coming up. All right, fam. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning in. Your spiritual beings having a human experience.